What's up, you guys? It's Levi here. So ransomware, malware, and viruses are taking down organizations and people each and every single day. And I want to help you guys significantly reduce the chance that a hacker, or what I like to call a pirate, can deploy these things out to your system and allow them to do whatever the F they want to your devices. Some of the terrible things that they can do to your devices by deploying this stuff out is holding your data for ransom on your device, so you have to pay a fee to be able to access your data, destroying that data so you can't access that data at all, spying on you on your device and stealing data off of that device, releasing information about you that you wouldn't want out there publicly that could harm you, and it can cause you to lose a large sum of money. All terrible things that I do not want to happen to you guys. I want you guys to win. I don't want the pirates to win. So today, I'm going to be teaching you guys the top 5 defenses on how to prevent getting malware, ransomware, and viruses on your devices, so you can avoid all of these terrible, terrible things and have a happy and wonderful life and have all the free time in the world to be able to smash that like button for the YouTube algorithm. No, actually, I want you to have a happy and fantastic life and not have to deal with these things. But if you want to smash that like button for the YouTube algorithm, that is cool too. Alright, so let's go ahead and get started. Alright, so the first thing that you guys want to do is you want to keep your devices and applications up to date. We've all seen it. You have those annoying pop-ups that come up on your device that say, there is an update available. And you're sitting there, you're busy, you don't want to update your device because it takes time, and so you just pass it off and wait until another time. But I hate to tell you guys, you need to update your device immediately. Stop pushing those off. Update those devices ASAP, because if you don't update those devices, there could be a flaw in that device that a pirate can use to break into that device and do whatever the F they want to that device and cause all of those terrible things that we talked about earlier. So update your devices ASAP, or schedule a time to get those devices updated as soon as possible. Don't ignore those warnings to update. And this doesn't go for the device itself. You want to make sure that you're updating all of your applications and programs on that device as well. Get it set up so that those applications and programs are automatically updating so that you don't have to think about it. If you don't have that ability, I highly advise setting a time once a month where you go in and check each and every application that you have and run updates on those. The next point on this is something that a lot of people don't think about. Update your router. You know, that little device that's connected to your internet that you have to reset every once in a while to get your internet working? Yeah, that's your router. And you have to make sure that is getting updated. Because guess what? The pirate can connect directly to that device at all times, and if there's a flaw in that device, that can allow the pirate to break in to your home network and then be able to possibly do whatever the F they want to all the devices on that home network. So you want to get that router updated so that there's no flaws for the pirates to be able to easily take advantage of to get into your home network. And then finally, get rid of old devices. I see this quite a bit where people have devices that are 5+ years old, and they're like, but Levi, this device works for me, it's cheap, it saves me money. Or they go and buy a cheap device because it saves them money and it's old, and they don't understand why it's a bad thing. And I'm telling you guys, it's a bad thing to have those devices that are no longer getting updates that are old. Specifically, because if they're not getting updates, guess what? They have flaws in them that a pirate can take advantage of. And you have to ask yourself, is it worth saving some money to potentially have one of those bad things happen to you that we talked about previously? Heck, if one of those bad things happens to you, it might cost you more money than what what you saved having an old device or purchasing an old device. So that's something to keep in mind. The specific thing that I've seen lately is people that have Windows 7's machines. They aren't supported anymore as of January of 2020, but they're still using them because they work, right? Well, all it takes is for you to visit one website or you to download one application that has a flaw that is not fixed by an update that's no longer out there for Windows 7, and boom, you have one of those terrible things, and the pirate can do whatever the F they want to your device. All right, the number 2 thing that you guys can do to protect yourself is to watch out for scams that are out there. Specifically, phishing scams are one of the biggest ones, you know, where you get an email that's pretending to be something that it actually isn't. You take an action on that email, and boom, the pirate can do whatever the F they want to your device. You have to be able to watch out for those. You have to know what to look for phishing emails. I have videos on this each and every single month that goes over the top 3 phishing scams from that month. I highly advise checking in on the channel each and every single month and watching those, so that you guys can start to build immunity in your head from seeing those phishing emails and hopefully avoiding falling for those. The next scams that you guys should be trying to avoid are phishing scams or phone call scams where somebody calls you and pretends to be somebody that you're not. You have to be alert on phone calls and make sure that whoever is on the other side is actually who they say they are, and looking out for scams. You know, one of the common ones is where somebody pretends to be IT or tech support, and they claim that you have a problem with your system, and so they get you to download an application so they can remote into your system and fix that problem. And then guess what? You just give them access to your system, and you can allow them to do whatever the F they want to your system. So you got to be careful on those phone calls. And then finally, be careful when you're browsing the web and when you're doing Google searches and things like that. Unfortunately, some of the pirates have gotten really good at pushing their results up in the search engine, and so a lot of people will search for certain things such as a COVID tracking app, and the pirate will push their result all the way up to the top, and the person searching is like, oh, this has to be legit, it's at the top of the search engine. They download that application, and then guess what? Boom, the pirate can do whatever the F they want to that person's system because it was a rogue application. So you gotta be careful on searches as well. Just because it's up at the top does not mean it is legit, right? All right, the number 3 thing, be careful what you install on your device. I think the first thing with this is make sure that you have antivirus on your device. It gives you extra protection. So if you do install something that is not legit, hopefully it will catch it and get rid of that problem. But you can't rely fully on that. Alright, so the Apple and Android stores are not immune to having bad applications. In the past, they've had rogue applications that can do whatever the F they want to your device when those are installed on your device. So do not assume just because an application is in the Apple or the Android store that it is legit. Do some research on applications before you're installing those applications. And be very, very selective on what applications you're installing. Don't just install an application because it looks cool. I see a lot of people's phones that they just have tons of garbage applications on their phone that they don't need, and it's probably because they were not paying attention. They just willy-nilly install the applications on their phone. Don't do that. And if you have done that, get rid of those old applications that you don't use anymore. Another note to bring up, which I shouldn't even have to bring this up, but unfortunately some people do this. Do not download or install applications that are illegal or that are copyright infringed. You know, using BitTorrent and things like that. It's a terrible idea because guess what? A pirate can put their malware, their viruses, their ransomware inside of that application. It's working and you think that it's amazing, I got this for free, but then you get one of those terrible things that we talked about previously to happen to you. It's not worth it. Pay the money or don't use those applications in the first place. Doing stuff illegally is going to cause you problems. Another thing is avoid downloading applications on non-official stores. For instance, Android allows you to download applications outside of the App Store. That is a very, very good way to have one of these things installed on your device and have those terrible things that we talked about before happen to you. So go through the official app stores. And then the last thing on this part, be very, very careful with browser extensions, because browser extensions can see whatever you're doing inside of the browser, and they can cause some problems for you if they are rogue. All right, number 4, be careful what you're connecting your devices to. So if you see a USB drive laying down on the ground in a public place, or really anywhere for that matter, that you don't know where it came from, don't plug it into your machine. Just get rid of it, report it to your IT department, whatever. Do not plug that device into your machine. And the same thing goes for if you're at a public area and you want to plug in your phone or whatever device you have, iPad, into a kiosk to charge your device, or like a rental car or something like that. Try to avoid doing that, because a pirate can take advantage of the charging mechanism and put one of these things on your device, right? If you're going to do that, I highly suggest using a filter. I have a video that I'll put down below in the description that you guys can use to check that out. It's a device that you can get to filter that power, so you're only getting power to your device and not transmitting data to a potential hacker's device that will steal data off your machine or install one of these things on your machine. And then finally, be careful what networks you're connecting to over the wireless. If you're at a public place, only connect to trusted networks. I highly recommend not even connecting to networks at all, just using your cell signal or tethering off your cell phone to your other devices, because a pirate can set up a fake network that looks like another network, and guess what? All of your traffic will be going through that network, and they can see anything that you're sending out that's not encrypted. And if you have a flaw on your device, the pirate can take advantage of that flaw and do whatever the F they want to your device. Alright, and finally, number 5, secure your network. So your wireless network at home, set a hard password for your wireless network. Don't put it as something like "let me in." Set it to something like "smash that like button" for the YouTube algorithm. It's super long and it would be super hard to guess. Except don't do that now, because I've given that out, and I don't want too many people setting that password, because then it will be a known one, and then a pirate will be able to get into your Wi-Fi network, right? But you can make sure to take that action, right? But in all seriousness though, you really want to be setting a long and difficult Wi-Fi password. I highly advise checking out my video that talks about how to set a strong password. And that will help you set a hard Wi-Fi password, but still an easy to type one. Just remember, length matters. That's what makes it difficult for attackers to break passwords. And by having a hard Wi-Fi password, it makes it much more difficult for a pirate that's sitting outside of your area to break into your Wi-Fi and get into your home network and potentially do whatever the F they want to all of the devices on your home network. So you want to make sure you have a tough Wi-Fi password. Alright, so these are the steps that you guys can take to help protect yourselves from getting malware, ransomware, and viruses, so that you guys do not have those crappy things that we talked about earlier happen to you, right? By taking these actions on a consistent basis, you should reduce your risks to the point that you're not going to be having problems with getting those terrible things. And that is my ultimate goal for you. So make sure you're taking these actions on a consistent basis, and also make sure you're sharing this video out there with everybody you know, and smashing that like button, hitting the subscribe button, and hitting that notification bell so more people can see this video, because the more people that see this video, the more people will be able to protect themselves, and the more you guys can win and the pirates can lose, because that's the ultimate goal. I want you guys to not have to deal with those terrible things and live a happy and peaceful life. So I thank you guys so much for watching. Leave a comment down below. Tell me what you guys thought, or if you guys have any questions, I'd love to hear from you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Have a fantastic day.